It is now time for You Think You Know Me with the Godfather, only on YouTube. Here's your host, the Godfather. Alright, enough with the sappy Valentine's Day stories, enough with vomiting, enough with the drinking, enough with the sex. Well, mine is drinking. If you want to drink while listening to this show, feel free. I don't mind it at all. Alright, but for now, let's get going with a little special guest. I actually do have a special guest here today, and it's none other than Stefan Montana. So, Stefan, take it away. I don't like that tone that you brought up. Anyways, it's shooting time, people. Okay, first things first. Let me tell you something about those slobs. They ruin your mental instinct. You don't want to be another Gentle and Wise, where you may be goody-goody in the moment, but then after a while, it's going to turn on you, it's going to send you the cord, like I had to deal with her in 2006, so don't be that kind of person. I'm pretty sure the Godfather had to go through that one time, or that one individual that tried to ruin his career. Well, look where he is. He's trying to revive it, and he's doing just fine. Kevin Durant is nothing but the biggest coward in the National Basketball Association. I hate him with a passion. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're a moron. You deserve every chance. You're nothing but a cupcake. If I had to choose between a regular cupcake, Kevin Durant, and Misha Tate, I pick the latter of Misha Tate because obviously he's the finest cupcake of them all. Chick LaMotta, you're one of the biggest pussies. Raging Bull, you're more like a raging pussy. What the fuck is wrong with you when you had to beat Billy Fox, and instead you had to listen to a rig and you cry like a little baby? Cry like a little baby is nothing but cowardice and pussy shit. Oh, don't even get me started with Beyonce. Is she the greatest of all time? I don't even, since she's in my top 500. Beyonce's one of the most overrated of all time. Probably more overrated than Juan Cena. Oh my goodness, don't even get me started on another celebrity worship because I hate celebrity worship and I hate hypes. I hate overhypes. I hate everything with the word hype in it. Get hyped, get wrecked, hype, MLG train. I hate them all. My thought about dear white people, as far as the trailer is concerned, big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. I'm not gonna cancel her for that shit. When you have Orange and you have Stranger Things, that's a couple things that will keep me going. As far as that Narco show, I'd probably need to get going right now. And as a matter of fact, let me go watch it. Oh my goodness, I'm sick of this overhyped celebrity worshiping bull. Okay, speaking of Beyonce and overhyping, let's talk about the Grammys, because both of them had to contain overhype and Beyonce. It's obviously word on the street that came out that's that Adele once again ruled the Grammy universe with taking a lot of the gold, including Record of the Year. More on that in a moment. And Album of the Year with 25. And obviously she said that Beyonce's Lemonade is more worthy, she deserves it more than she does, and now pretty much Beyonce's become the Leonardo DiCaprio of the Grammys. Quite honestly, out of all the others, do you think that Adele was not going to get out of LA with Album of the Year? Look at the West nominated. Along with Beyonce's Lemonade, you have Justin Bieber's Purpose, whatever. Views by Drake, whatever. The only one that I felt like was okay, knowing the Grammys every now and then, I like to pick the one that is like the least popular by the mainstream top 40 world. So I decided A Sailor's Guide to Earth will probably win, despite never hearing it until now, recently. And let me tell you about Sturgill Simpson. He ain't that bad. I am not a country guy. Let me make this very clear. I am not a country guy at all. So the fact that Sturgill Simpson can get me to enjoy a couple of country records, that's really impressive. I don't listen to it that much. It's my weakest genre out of my general taste in music, so I don't really talk about country all that much. But yeah, I felt like that one was reasonable. I see that. I think out of all of the one I do not quite like much is Justin Bieber's Purpose, because I'm not crazy into Justin Bieber. I don't hate him. I don't despise him. I don't vilify him. I just don't care about Justin Bieber. Surprisingly, he actually made it this far into this decade to be one of the bigger pop artists out there. No surprise, considering how a young boy becomes just a tatted up, womanizing freak. I don't know, whatever. Record of the year. Thank God Adele won. Because when you look at the list of record of the year, it's probably one of the worst in history. More on that in a moment. Probably, let me tell you honestly, I can't give two shits about the Grammys this year because it had to do with something with record of the year. And I felt like it does disservice and injustice to every musician out there that this piece of garbage made it through. And the fact that, to answer my question, what was the record of the year that rattled my cage? I'll tell you that in a moment, but first let me get through the rest of the Grammys. Is Beyonce one of the greatest singers as far as nowadays? Sort of. Is she in my all-time greatest list? No. I sing people who say that, I get it, but honestly, they're kind of out of their freaking minds. Because to me, there's a lot of far more talented female vocalists. Like, there's so many of them out there. I would even put Romy from the X over Beyonce. That's just my personal taste. I just never got into Beyonce like everybody else. Not even single ladies. No, don't even get me started with single ladies. Where's the single men video? Where's the single men record? I've heard to use that of about, okay, I know. I will talk about Valentine's Day in a moment, even though Valentine's Day was yesterday. First, the one thing that I looked forward to the Grammys was Lady Gaga and Metallica. Hey, you have Metallica, so obviously, right away, I'm going to enjoy it, because it's fucking Metallica. What else do you expect? When you have aggressive metal and actually let a little rock being emphasized at the Grammys, that's a good thing. Problem is, James Hetfield's mic did not work, so it was mostly instrumental. But when you think about metal instrumental, like in the case of Metallica, I don't mind it one bit. But I hate the fact that the mics, it just did not work. It's just irritating me because it's just kind of like a slap in the face to rock music in general. It really is. It bothers me quite a lot. But yeah, that's another one right there. Lady Gaga. I put Lady Gaga over Beyonce. And no, I'm not saying that because of the Super Bowl or the national anthem. I've said that for many years. Even when I was in high school, I said I would put Gaga over Beyonce. I'm sorry. Sue me. Whatever. Don't sue me, by the way. Anyways, I thought it was a hell of a performance. And I will not quite lie, honestly. Had I not made up my mind who was my moving Scarlet Wednesday, she would have been right on top of the list just for the attire alone. I like that kind of shit. And now from the only thing I look forward to the Grammys to the one thing that made me tune off the Grammys when I was eating at a restaurant. It has to do with the New Day. I mean, not the New Day. 21 Pilots. I'm all for artists that like to grab attention, be one of those attention whores out there. But when you pull down your pants and being an alpha male every now and then, well, obviously I'm a male, and being alpha male is a trait that is pretty much frowned upon these days. That may be too tough. You don't pull your pants when you're accepting probably one of your biggest awards in your music career. This is the motherfucking Grammys. The motherfucking Grammys. And like I mentioned, like in this episode, said nobody's safe. I'm gonna bury everything that moves. 21 Pilots, how dare you? How dare you pull your pants down? I know you're trying to be funny. I found nothing funny at all. Nothing funny. The fact that I was not even bothered to watch the Grammys to begin with, because it had to do with the matter of fact that this particular song was nominated for Record of the Year, and the fact that mainstream music is at its all-time worst. You guys made me not bother to listen to your crap. That's why I called you the New Day, because you make a piss out of the industry. Like the New Day has ruined wrestling, has ruined entertainment. And it's just nothing but a horrible stereotype of African Americans when you have The Rock just recently got a high honorable award. And in my eye, is he a black champion in the WWE? I say yeah. When you think about it, he's the only African American world champion that quote-unquote was treated in the WWE that won the big one. Obviously, you have Ron Simmons and Booker T in WCW, and obviously down in TNA, you had Bobby Lashley, for example, to have won it. The Rock, highest honorable award. You want to talk about a culture that it should be respected? Right there, The Rock. He makes that community be a positive thing. The New Day, on the other hand, is just let Bruce Blitz and everyone that hates the New Day take care of it. I'm not gonna talk about the New Day. I'm not even gonna talk about the 21 Pilots. I told you the Grammys was gonna be shit, and it was. And mostly the reason why I started boycotting the Grammys, the only reason why I did not boycott the Grammys is because one because of Metallica, and two because I could not escape it when I was at the restaurant. That's all they had besides the Raptors game that went into overtime. No, it did not win in overtime. The one that they lost in like less than 30 seconds to go by 1 point. This abomination that was nominated for Record of the Year. Except mainstream music, except awards, couldn't get any more awards. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to have the first inductee in the Godfather's Garbage Material Hall of Fame. What else do you expect? Look at the horrible album cover. Look, this is how everybody, including myself, felt after listening to the song the first time. Makes me want to puke, makes me want to vomit, makes me want to go burn sink, makes me want to go crash through a window and do a swanton bomb on the top of a car. No, land on the top of the car, no less. Work as the abomination of what everything is wrong with top 40 music. It does not have a rating. It says unclassified because I felt like negative Google out of 10 is too excessive. Well, let me tell you, I thought Crank Dead was the worst thing to come out on radio. I thought mumble rap was the worst thing to come out. I even thought Narwhals was the quintessential garbage song. When Work came out a year ago and it was number one for 11 weeks, I just wanted to find find a steel chair, a plexiglass window to run through my head and end the misery. Let me tell you, if MC Hammer made a record of Work, it would go like this. Work, I said, work. What are you talking about? You see, MC, if you copy and paste I Am Hammer and replace it with the lyrics of Work by Rihanna and Drake, MC Hammer would body Rihanna. See, look at what I just did. It sounds 10 billion for billion for $1 trillion, whatever the fuck how that thing goes. I made it better. Kurt Angle can make that thing better, and he's not even a rapper. The fact that this thing was record of the motherfucking year and above all nominated for a Grammy should tell you everything that is wrong with music. The fact that it got nominated more than one is just a big disservice to everyone in music. It's a big disservice to all the artists that will never get the light of day of being nominated or the light of day of being recognized unless you go to the mainstream world. You will. In hindsight, I can kind of understand why Metallica went there in 91. Because if you want to keep a genre alive, if you want to make something big out of it, like metal, put yourself out there in a larger scale. For all I care. I will never, if every time I listen to War, I will go out there and say, turn that piece of garbage around. And that's the cleanest way to say it. I will use far more words to describe this heinous record. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Fuck Work, fuck Rihanna, and Drake. That's probably Drake's worst lyricism that he's ever done. Forget Jump, man. Forget all of his utter, every now and then mediocre to not so good records. I'm done. I gotta get through this real quick. Chance the Rapper. Here's an artist that I don't mind. I could care less much about his music per se, but his story's quite unique. And he's one of those that's doing it his way. No record label. He's doing it without a record label. The album that got all this critical acclaim. When he not got all of them, when he won certain awards, when he beat the juggernauts, the Goliaths of rap music, shows you that it doesn't matter what big label you are, as long as you make and you're high good quality music. I'm not the biggest Chance the Rapper fan. Let's just make it through. Let's just make this very clear. But when I hear the stories that he's doing it his way and that he does like some religious stuff, it's like, all right, I can respect that. I can respect that in a way. But here's the funny thing: best new artist. I had a laugh because it was like best new artist. How is he best new artist? I don't know how the Grammy system works or what constitutes best new artist. It's like saying The XX in 2018 wins Best New Artist when they've been around since 2009. Obviously, it's different. But probably the best new artist to have ever won it, been a biased point of view, is Adele. And the only reason why is because they beat the Jonas Brothers. Remember Esperanza Spalding won Best New Artist over Justin Bieber? You never heard from her again. Yeah. And speaking of Chance the Rapper, he's come a long way, hasn't he, after performing at the Dome 2 years ago? Alright, enough of the mumble wumble, enough of the complaints, enough of the disgrace that some people say is the sham of the shams. Let's move on to NASCAR real quick. With only 11 days to the Daytona 500, Darrell, Waltrip, and Cale Yarborough come into mind when it comes to the famous drivers who drove the number 11 car. When it comes to the 80s, Junior Johnson, Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Hammond, Mountain Dew, Buick could not get any better than that. He led the domination of the Buick. Yeah, in case you wondered, Buick used to be a part of NASCAR. Yeah, like Buick were king shits for about a minute. But Darrell Waltrip, when he joined Junior Johnson, they completely changed. He pretty much ruled the 80s. Besides Earnhardt in the ladder run, it was nobody can really stop Darrell. From his personality, from his aggression. Obviously, he toned it down quite a bit after that wreck at Daytona in '83. But besides that, he was the guy that you had to beat. And in the long run, looking at 1985, for example, consistency and finding ways to stay in contention for a win really helped them beat Bill Elliott for the '85 championship, which turned out to be his last. All three of his titles, no less, were with Junior Johnson: '81, '82, and '85. And with Cale Yarborough, you want to talk about the first 3P in NASCAR? Look no further than Cale. Probably one of the toughest men in NASCAR. He played football. He survived going through a guardrail at Darlington without really a scratch other than probably oil on his face. Cale Yarborough was the man in the 70s. Before Darrell, it was Cale. You gotta be Cale. He did it for 3 straight years in a row. Obviously, Jimmy's done it 5 straight, but honestly, when you have the chase, it makes it a little bit easy when you show up at the very end. But Cale Yarborough is one of the all-time greats. When it comes to Daytona, you had to be ready, because before Dale Earnhardt, even Tony Stewart, Cale Yarborough was the man at Daytona. He had a lot of wins there. I wonder if he ever drove the Rolex 24. Had he drove the Rolex 24, he probably would have been a contender. Well, then again, NASCAR was not what it was at the time then compared to now, where a NASCAR driver can join a top caliber sports car team for the 24 hours of Daytona. But either way, Cale Yarborough is one of those drivers that should be considered one of the all-time greatest when you think about it. Great in the 60s, great in the 70s, and great in the 80s. If you are phenomenal in 3 different decades, you should be considered an all-time great in my book. Alright. Finally, NASCAR. If there's one thing that I will say that I was looking forward to, thank God NASCAR is next week, because I don't have to put up with the Grammy Awards afterwards. The Advanced Auto Parts Clash. Yeah. Daytona calling, Rock the Cash Well, silly little Clash references. The Clash is back. The name, that is, because it's always been the Clash in my eye. If it's not the Bus Shootout, I call it the Clash. Alright, when it comes to my overall prediction, it's pretty straightforward. I picked to win is Kurt Busch, and here's why. I feel like he's back in the Ford. I feel like if last year proved you something, that he was strongly consistent. I think Kurt Busch is going to be really hungry and determined to win the championship. I think he could be he's one of my early favorites to be in that championship. I feel like if things go well, Kurt Busch is going to do phenomenal. Look at his run in Roush. He did really good for the most part, except for 01 and 05, of course. Kurt Busch, I think it's time to win the Clash. It's there. I think he's gonna be up there. However, realistically, I think it's gonna be Joey Logano. He just probably will find a way through the big wrecks and vice versa. You gotta stop the Penske's on the plate tracks. They have just been, especially at Daytona, they have just been the guys to beat at Daytona. Brad Keselowski won the 400 miler. I would pick him, but I feel like Logano's gonna be the guy to win. As far as my dark horse, people say he's going to be the next one to retire. He's going to be the next one. He's going to be the next one. He's going to be the next one. No. I do feel like Matt Kenseth is here to stay for a couple more years. And I think Kenseth will be a good candidate for the dark horse. And as far as Alex Bowman's concerned, he will be running in the Clash. He'll be in the number 88 car that Dale Earnhardt Jr. was supposed to be driving for this clash, but since Bowman won a pole in the 88 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. decided, no, I'm just going to be a guest commentator with Jeff and Darrell. So he decided to keep Bowman, which was good because this is going to be the last time we're going to see Alex Bowman run in a highly competitive car. And somewhere deep inside of my mind, Bowman is probably thinking, Danica, please retire so I can be in that tech car and make that thing worth a damn. The fact that Cole Witt has a ride over Alex Bowman should tell you a lot. Alex Bowman proved it that if you're a guy that has yet to prove yourself in the top level of NASCAR, and you get the opportunity, despite the circumstances, and deliver and prove yourself, if you give me a good car, I'm gonna prove myself and I'm gonna be competitive. Bowman did it, and people said that anybody in the 88 can be better. Anybody who drives the 80 will be better than Junior. Jeff Gordon, he was hit and miss in the 88. Alex Bowman, when luck was on his side, he was good. He was running the top 10 most of his run there. And the fact that Bowman does not have a ride is a blasphemy in motorsports, and it kind of shows you that if you're a paid driver or a contractually committed driver in a lower division, Cody Ware, Cole Witt. Except for you, Cody Ware, you have not seen you enough, so I'll give you a pass. Bowman, however, he's like his luck in the 88. He's gonna end up being caught up at 15th. He's gonna end up being caught in the big one. The last several years, we had a big one that takes out most of the field, so that's why I said there's only gonna be 8 out of the right now 17 competitors as of Wednesday that will run. Yeah, 8 of 17 will finish. There will be a big one, and most of them will be caught on in it. Outside of NASCAR, IndyCar makes the news as far as they had their test run in Phoenix and they had their test runs at Sonoma. Chevrolet are on a roll right now. Obviously, there was a couple incidents with J.R. Hildebrand and the defending Indianapolis 500 winner Alexander Rossi, but right now, you're going to have to be competitive with the Penske boys because the defending champion Simon Pagenaud, I think he's going to make that number one and be strong, unlike drivers in the past like Will Power, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Scott Dixon, no less in 2004. I think because there's always the jinx of IndyCar, like if you're driving the number one, it's going to be a bad year. I don't know about Pagenaud. I think he's going to be a strong contender. I will keep an eye on Pagenaud, probably being the man. And the sad thing is, it's the poor old Scott Dixon. He drove an unsponsored white number 9 car. Dude, somebody sponsored, probably in my eye, one of the best open wheel drivers of the last 25 plus years. The fact that Scott Dixon, I agree with Rob Miller, the fact that Scott Dixon is not considered one of the best IndyCar drivers of this generation is absolutely a disgrace. Obviously, Dario Franchitti was the man, but then it obviously more revered that he's now retired. But Scott Dixon deserves all the accolade, and he should be sponsored. Period. Alright, it is now time for the weekly dose of romance. I know it's February the 15th, but hey, I can dream to have a celebrity crush, can't I? Anyways, this is the Godfather's Celebrity Women's Crush Wednesday of the week. I say Women's Crush Wednesday because there's only one WCW, and that is World Championship Wrestling. I did mention that had it not been for this one woman, I would have picked Lady Gaga, mostly for the wickedly gorgeous attire at the Metallica performance. I have to give it to another one that has that similar attributes in my eye, and that is the one and only Alexa Bliss, the former, and I say former because more on that in a moment, the former SmackDown Women's Champion. We want to talk about the things that I like: athletic, personality, and a gorgeous body. If you don't think Alexa Bliss's body is that gorgeous, then hey, more power to you. But when it comes to Alexa Bliss, she brings something that the women's division could you always afford. Is expression and a spunky, fiery, luscious personality. Obviously, I was going to go with a couple other words and I completely botched it. Anyways, you get my point. Alexa Bliss is the Women's Crush Wednesday of this week. Speaking of World Whack Entertainment, let's talk about The Chamber, or down in Germany is known as No Escape. And without further ado, as you see in this picture, it is automatically the Heyo of the week. Heyo! It is about damn time, 3 years too late, that Bray Wyatt, the man the man that should have been in the main event right now, the man that would have made a lot of money, the man that in my eyes should have been the guy that ended the Undertaker's streak. If it's not Brock Lesnar, I wouldn't mind Bray Wyatt. If you want to have a guy that could put up a good showing, if you want to have entertainment and that mystique, Bray Wyatt is your guy. And the first time I heard of Bray Wyatt, and then listened to one of his promos, and then see how he's progressed with the presentation and the aura of the World Wrestling Entertainment. Bray Wyatt is one of the few guys that can do it. He doesn't mind having a little bit of an aggressive side of him, and doesn't mind getting a little bit bruised or bled, or a little blood on the side. That's to the point of Ric Flair busting him open with his Hall of Fame ring. No, well, obviously you gotta put John Cena. I think Bray Wyatt's ready. I'm John Cena. I should be the man. I'm 16 times champion. I support troops. I'm gonna exploit kids. I'm gonna do it my one. If you don't like it, then too bad. John Cena. In case if you're wondering, John Cena did lose. That's why Bray Wyatt is gracefully holding the championship that has his darn logo in it. But honestly, the Wyatt family goes back. You have the Wyndham Rotundo family has had a long share of history. He's the only man to have won the WWE World Championship, the world title. Obviously, in the line, you had the Blackjack Mulligan, IRS, Bo Dallas. Yeah, funny to think about that. Bray Wyatt's legit brother in real life, Bo Dallas, had a match on Raw the following night after the family had the highest of fight. And then you go look at Bo Dallas going through the lowest of low with the New Day. But anyways, Bray Wyatt, I do not mind one bit. And let me tell you something. When John Cena got eliminated by that man, Bray Wyatt, I was thankfully happy because guess what? Fuck you, John Cena. You're not going to be in the main event. So I think as I'm recording this, he might be now after SmackDown Live. You never know. But when it was just AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt in the ring, the match, it was good. It was really good. They worked really well. I was thinking, if those two have a match one-on-one someday, it's going to be really good. Maybe better. And they had a little bit, kind of reminded me how Perfect and Bret Hart had that one quick match in the King of the Ring. That right away they just connect. I felt like they connected really good, and the match got a lot better. I wish they could have gone a little bit longer, proved themselves. Hey, you think John Cena's a good worker? Think again. About damn time. It's just about damn time. Speaking of many people's eyes, another about damn time moment is when you have Naomi winning the women's championship over Alexa Bliss. And people chanting, you deserve it. For me, here's my stance of Naomi. Athletic. The finisher is one thing. The finisher is something else. But when it comes to athletic and one who earns it, I don't mind her winning the championship. It kind of makes sense. Obviously, she's going to go into WrestleMania into her hometown in Orlando as the women's champion. Because to show you somebody that actually cares about the wrestling business. What do you mean? I'm John Cena. Heard about the wrestling business. You just give me the money, give me the vitamins to do it. I'll do it. I care about the wrestling business. I do. Now shut up, Cena. You don't give two fucks. Look at Batista winning the first world title and compare it to Cena, 16th. Tell me who's the more passionate one. But good for Naomi either way. But I think the best match that I saw was in fact Randy Orton and Luke Harper. And like I said, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt is something refreshing. You have a guy like Randy Orton who's a main eventer that's already established in the WWE, who doesn't mind working with the young guys, even though he's in the middle of a big storyline that made sense that Orton beat Harper. But it comes to show you that Luke Harper can go. I've always said that his Intercontinental run was one of the better ones in the last 5 or 6 years. But obviously, that reign did not last that long at all. They had a hell of a good match. You can tell Randy Orton is into it again. When he's into it, he's going to be into it. He'll make a notice. That's the fact that he does his poses when he is into it. Good match. But the rest of the chamber, I did not watch it. Am I excited for WrestleMania? Still a long ways to go. I don't know if I will. But good to see Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in the main event. And John Cena, for now, is out of it. And now, let's go to who's number one.
Who's number one? Who's number one? Who's number one? Who's number one? So who's number one? Who's number one? Who's number one?
All right. big changes in the Billboard 200. Let's get going. Without further ado, let's go down the order. At number 10, the RCA list, Volume 4, is a compilation of records that RCA has made over the years. I haven't looked at the list, but I'm telling you, I'll probably be impressed if I see it on stores everywhere. Post Malone, Stoney still remains at number 9. At number 8, you have Dear Evan Hansen. It's a Broadway. It's just simple. It's a Broadway. Number 7 is 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. It's the same spot as it was last week. Number 6, it is the 2009 album, The Fame by Lady Gaga. Obviously, after the Super Bowl halftime performance, a lot of her albums spiked up really well in the 200 charts. Starboy by The Weeknd is at number 5. And I will say this real quick. I did listen to a little bit of Starboy at the Grammys. It was okay. But I'm not the fan of The Weeknd. That name sounds like a group, but it's not. It's just a name of the solo artist, The Weeknd. What the fuck? Number 4, Sing It Now, Songs of Faith and Hope by Reba McEntire climbs up. Culture by Migos down to number 3 after being number 1 last week. Joanne goes from number 66 to number 2. And obviously it's by Lady Gaga. And at number 1 is I Decided by Big Sean. New, number 1. And now it's the Billboard Hot 100. The top 3 did not change. Shape of You, my opinion, is just growing into the dislike category. Bad and Bougie, hate it. I Don't Want to Live Forever. I listen to it. It has a mixture of fun. Hate that group. It has a mixture of the Human League quite a bit, and there was another one that I mentioned. But yeah, it had a little bit of an 80s feeling. It's okay. Lyrically, it's fine. Not the biggest Zayn fan. Number 4, Lady Gaga's Million Reasons. Number 5, Bad Things by MGK and Camila Cabello goes down. Bounce Back, Big Sean makes it in the top 10. Closer, going down to number 7. Couldn't be more any happy. Scars to You Beautiful, Elisa Cara. Number 8, Don't Wanna Know with Maroon 5 featuring Kendrick Lamar. It's just another happy-go-lucky, whatever record, in my opinion. Still not into Kendrick Lamar enough. And number 10 is Paris by Chainsmokers. Let's go to the Godfather's playlist of the week because it's a daily dose reminder that these following music in my eyes are much better than the ones out there today. And the one that I listen to the most, that I jam to quite a lot, especially when it comes to Full Moon Saturday Night, is In the Evening by Led Zeppelin. The last one with all the members together. It can't get any better with some Zeppelin, don't you think? And then Under the Bridge, here's an honest, I hate to admit moment. I honestly thought the opening riff, I thought it was like, what is this? Pearl Jam? What is this? Creed? What is this? Nickelback? I thought it was a 2000 song, but no, this is 1992 from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Under the Bridge. It's a good song. Pace was really good, and it shows the variety of range that Red Hot Chili Peppers could do. They did not do that at the Super Bowl as I'm thinking about it. Here's the one thing. There's some versions that I love better than what came in the album. Iron Man by Black Sabbath. The Beat Club version of Iron Man. The one that they performed in that show in Germany. Bodies, the one that came out of the Paranoid album. It's just more rough, more aggressive. The tone is a little bit lower. It's just epitomizes metal. And then when you listen to the album version, it's like, what a letdown. It's one of the few rare times I put the live version over the studio. It's probably my all-time favorite live version ever. You want to talk about obscure records these days? Well, not really obscure. You want to talk about out of the ordinary, out of the blue stuff that I listen to? Bobby Shmurda's Hot Boy is one of them. Hey, it's one of the more better rap songs that actually has some message, kind of have a throwback, obviously, and ultimately let the Shmurda go into jail. Journey's Separate Ways, Worlds Apart. You want to talk about intense in the 80s? This one just simply says intensity in the 1980s. You want to talk about a song that can get you, that rattle your emotions, that keeps you calm, and you have to listen to it very carefully to understand what the heck the song is about. All Apologies by Nirvana. I'm talking about the unplugged version that was aired in 1993 that the album came out a year later. Powerful song. Fuck My Life, the Vanek remix by K-Flay is another one along with Hot Boy that is on my list because whatever gets me into it, It probably has to do because I listened to it at about, what was it, like 9 in the morning on a sunny Saturday in, what was it, October? It was at the end of September with a group of sisters. I can leave you to that. When you have one of those two siblings playing music, and then they struck a chord with this particular record, how it sounded, and it just kind of like reminded me of AJ Lee for whatever reason, it's gonna be good. K-Flay's not that bad. Santana, Black Magic Woman with Gypsy Queen. If it doesn't have Gypsy Queen on, if you don't play Gypsy Queen, what the hell's wrong with you? Play Gypsy Queen to bring more intensity to the record. One of my all-time favorite Santana songs, when you put both of them together, by the way. My all-time favorite metal riffs, one of my all-time favorites no less, Raining Blood by Slayer. Go listen to it. You'll be amazed on how badass the riff was for its time. And then another XX song makes the list, and it's I Dare You. It's probably the one song after I heard it on Saturday Night Live, I was like, I got into it right away. As soon as I heard it, it just had a connection. Usually an XX song will do that for me. It really does. Alright, with our weekly quote, it's going to be relatively a short 3 points with The Godfather. But here's a quote by Will Smith that kind of ultimately reminds me that being single is okay for the foreseeable future. Here it is. Quote, don't chase people, be yourself, do your own thing, and work hard. The right people, the ones that really belong in your life, will come to you and stay. End quote. Alright, here's why. Here's why I went with this quote. Because back in the good old days of high school, I used to pretty much did the opposite. I tried to play as the chaser. I tried to chase for women, to be the one. I thought I had the one, or thought this person is the one. Here's the mindset that I learned after high school, and there I didn't need to be reminded like 2 years ago. It's gonna be 2 years in December actually, where I feel like my mindset was not realistic. I let the single life bother me to absolute no end, because obviously in high school it will mind fuck you that you have to have a day. For those who never had a day and didn't mind it one bit, those are the people that you should actually understand and respect. Because and that's something that I took in college, where I said, well, what's gonna allow me to overcome the struggle? I decided simple. Don't rush. If you want to take time to know a woman, if you have the time, take time to understand who they are and what they go through. And then figure it out whether or not you're just only meant to be friends, or maybe there's something more. And it's quite fitting I'm talking about this on the day after Valentine's Day, because I felt like that's one thing I should bring up. Hey, single life is okay. I know people, and even in college, probably more emphasize that you must have a woman or have a let's get it on moment. But no, like here's the thing: when you're trying to make yourself valuable in a professional market, just take the time to make yourself that valuable that people will hire you for. And that's what I made myself think about more than anything else in college, is to make myself credible in the broadcasting world by doing a lot of things that will help me in the long run and actually improve my craft. And I felt like that was more important to me at that moment than finding a relationship. It took me years to understand, and I know if it wasn't for those trial and errors in high school and sometimes those consequences that I have to endure, I think it made me much better, and it probably will help me in the long run. Am I ready for a relationship? Probably not. I probably would be lucky to be married before I'm 35 years old, which is 12 years from now. So I got 12 years to find the one, essentially, because that's my over exaggerating goal, that I probably will not get married till I'm 35. Let alone if I'm even lucky to have a kid. In this day and age, and especially in this society that goes, I've seen a lot of marriages. I've seen a lot of people having child before they're even married, even though they've been in a relationship for more than 2.5 or 3 years. They're having childs left and right. They're getting married left and right. Me, on the other hand, I'm just having a cup of water and probably thinking about my next orange soda experience. Kenan and Cale reference, if you don't understand, look it up. Kenan and Cale orange soda. If there's one thing that I love more than anything else, it's orange soda. When I have it, I savor the moment. But water does not hurt at all. It really doesn't. Water is good for your soul, but orange soda is making you fall in love with savory taste. That's the only love that I have is an orange soda. That's all. But yeah, at the end of the day, as time goes by, the one will arrive by just being confident. You just have to have confidence in yourself. So I sometimes don't have it. That's why I feel like I'm not quite there yet. I'm not ready for it. If I feel like it's the time, then maybe it'll be the time. But right now, I got other things to worry about. Number 2, understand the people you're interacting with before making a commitment with someone. You gotta understand who they are. During my time at the University of Idaho, I got to know and understand this one person, the fellow editor at the newspaper that I used to work for. I felt like those personalities worked quite well. Obviously, she's taken and all. I don't mind her. I'm happy for her, no less. But I decided to take the time to understand certain people. Well, obviously, when you have production night and your main job is just to upload videos and just get updates from every one of your crew, you gotta find ways to spend your time. Do your homework, work on a video, write stuff, listen to a Blitz review, listen to a Monday Night Raw commentary that will bore you to death, Michael. Or simply interact, talk to people, understand who they are. And then that's what I kind of did with the latter. Not just with her at all, of course. Other people over the years, and it's something. And at the end of the day, if you want to have fun and get loose, have fun and get loose. I'm not disencouraging that at all. I was just saying, for the most part, that was my main focus. Doing this kind of stuff that I'm doing right now. Obviously, there's a more vulgar scale because obviously we have that ultimate freedom. You gotta do it. But when I'm in a FCC regulated event, I know my limitations and I keep it about. But this is my show. This is on YouTube. I am open about it. But yeah, single life does not hurt. If you want to commit to something, commit to it. And if you feel like relationship's gonna be on the backseat, then that's your decision. It really is. I know the one friend that told me that my mindset was unrealistic. It's right. Sometimes don't let the relationships eat you up. And if you just want to have a dance date, that's fine. Go for it. I did. I even went to prom sophomore year with a senior. Didn't bother me anyway. And then years later, I found out it went really good after all these years. And it's quite humbling. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the Valentine's Day yesterday to those who have a relationship, by the way. More power to you. Alright, that will do it here with You Thinking Home with the Godfather. I actually made it in less than 50 minutes. Obviously, I did not really talk about the sports course. Idaho the women's team has been stepping it up. Washington Huskies women's basketball team, same thing. When time allows, I will discuss more about the game results, especially when it comes to the Big Sky tournament coming soon. But next week, NASCAR. We'll be talking about good old NASCAR with the 2017 preview, and in the review of the Advanced Auto Parts Clash. Good old Darrell Jr. on commentary. I know that was just horrible. I will talk about NASCAR. That's probably my main subject. If I have something in mind, I will talk about it. Maybe I'll tell more stories about my life. I'll talk about the one time that I slipped into a puddle while working video announcement. You never know. Anything could happen in Music You Know Me with a Godfather, but you have to tune in every Wednesdays on YouTube. Music You Know Me with a Godfather on Facebook, at the LT Files on Twitter, Luis_TNS Sports on Instagram, Auto Rockin' Racing 94, where you're listening to it right now. And then TNS Sports 94, my backup account. If you want to follow my journey, feel free. You have an open gate to follow my road. So, without further ado, until we meet again, this has been You Thinking Over with the Godfather. Hope you enjoyed my bantering. And if you were offended in one way or the other about Work by Rihanna, more power to you, but at the end of the day, it's still the worst song of all time. Have a good rest of your week, everyone, and enjoy the real music, the ones who have talent. And if you want to listen, explore new music, that's what the playlist of the week is all about. Thank you very much. And Kevin Durant is a coward.